Yeah. Sean, what's up?
Stigmatism, man, what's up? Do anything.
Yeah.
Okay. What is it, man?
Yeah.
Stigmatism in my soul.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got it, man?
What's up?
Do anything.
Anything?
Anything.
You sure?
Put your mind to it. Do anything.
But what if it's hard, though, man?
If it's hard, it's gonna be hard. If it's easy, it's gonna be easy. It's all about what you think.
Okay, I can dig that. I love you, Sean.
Me too.
Stigmatism in my soul, man. Window cleaner with soul. You see it, you hear it.
Dopest channel.
Dopest channel on YouTube.
You hear it.
Thanks for coming to the channel, y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Shout out
Thank
to
you.
all the subscribers.
Shout out to all the subscribers.
man.
Peace.
Peace out.
Share this link. Share this link. Share this link. Share this link. I'm live, man. I'm live. August the 31st, the last day of the month of August. This is 2021, man. 7:15 in the PM. EST, Eastern Standard Time. What's up? What's going on? Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to everybody in the whole world. This is the podcast with Soul. My name is Sean G. Shout out to everybody in the planet. I need y'all to go over and check out the video I put up today on my big channel, Sean G, of the young lady, Jasmine. I'm starting a new series where I'm going to be interviewing random women in the street and asking them what it is that they look for in men. What attracts them, what excites them, what turns them on, what turns them off. All of that. Shout out to everybody, man. Come on in. Where your self-esteem at? Where your self-love at? Where your self-confidence at? Where it's at? Do you got it? Do you have any? Or are you faking? Is it real or fake? Is it true? Where your self-esteem at? Where your self-love at? Where your self-confidence at? How do you feel about you? Do you believe in you? Do you really love you? Do you really treat yourself right? Or do you engage in self-destructive behaviors? Do you remain in toxic relationships longer than you should? Are you codependent in a relationship? Do you seek people's approval of you? Do you need acceptance from other people? Are you still in a relationship where the expiration date has came and went? And pretty much all you get now from the situation is torment, psychological confusion, emotional hurt, physical pain, depression, frustration. You name it. The list goes on and on and on and on. Hit that like button, y'all. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. When you come in, hit the like button, please. Thank you. Hit that like button when you come in, please and thank you. Hit that like button when you come in, please and thank you. Appreciate you. The individual must control the deepest perception of himself, lest he be overwhelmed by the forces of negativity and defeat around him. I read that in a book. I think the name of that book was The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. And it said in there, it said that the individual must control the deepest perception of himself, lest he be overwhelmed by the forces of negativity and defeat around him. How do you view you? Do you like you? Do you like your current situation? Do you like your life? Do you hate your life? Are you happy and content with where you at? Or do you wish to be somewhere else? Man, what do you see? What you think about you, what I think about me is reflected in my demeanor. My life reflects how I feel about me. That's a fact. That's a fact. You know, I've learned after spending many years trying to win the approval of people external to me, win the approval of women that I was in a relationship with, that I was in love with, that I loved. Growing up as a kid, trying to win the acceptance and approval of the popular crew. And willing to go to great lengths, risk my life, risk my freedom, lose myself all in the name of trying to win the approval of somebody else. When all I really had to do, I found out later on in life, was just be myself. That's it. That's all I needed to do. Right? And to accept myself on a deep level, irrespective of whether they accepted me or not. Right? But I found this out later on in life, after spending many years in self-rejection, self-loathing, and self-hatred, man. And then learning to control my narrative of my life and dictate to the world my self-perception. Because how I perceive me is going to determine how I behave. And how I behave is going to determine how you perceive me. So if I perceive myself with a lot of love, and I perceive myself with a lot of strength, if I perceive myself with a lot of intelligence, if I perceive myself as being okay, if I perceive myself as being acceptable as is, that's how the world is going to perceive me, because that's what I'm going to project. It's going to show that that's how I perceive me. And you got to control this. You got to control this. You got to maintain control over this. No matter how strong the personalities are of the people that you're around, no matter how much you want them to accept you, no matter how much you want to win their approval, no matter how much you want their acceptance, it should never take precedence over your own self-acceptance, your own perception of you. You got to work your thing. You got to do your thing. You got to do your thing, man, oblivious. Hit that like button for me, y'all. When you come in here, please hit the like button. You got to do your thing oblivious, not caring what anybody says, what they think, how they feel. Who cares? Who cares, man? How you feel about me, man, is the least of my worries, man. That's the least of my worries. I can't control how you think about me. I can't. To a certain degree. The control I have of how you perceive me is how I perceive myself. And how I perceive myself is going to dictate how I move, how I speak, how I walk, how I talk. And all of that is going to dictate to you how you're going to perceive me. It's very important, man. Very important. You got to understand this. You got to understand this part. How your self-esteem, man, impacts your life immediately. Your self-confidence dictates your second, your minute, your hour. your day, your days, your week, your weeks, your month, your months, your year, and your years. It has a direct impact. It impacts everything. It impacts how you do your job, how you're perceived on your job, how you run your business, how your clients see you, how potential clients see you. And all of this is in your control. And it's a constant work. It's a constant work. It's not a situation where, well, at least for me, you know, I've been practicing it so long that it's really who I am now. But I remember in the beginning, man, when I was trying to get myself together and I had been so accustomed to running down on me, to running down on my things, to criticizing me, self-criticism. I had become so accustomed to that. You know, self-hatred, self-destruction that was who I was. And when I was changing, hit that like button, man. Hit that like button when you come in here. Hit that like button.
I said astigmatism in my soul.
And when I was trying to make the change to go from self-hatred to self-love, when I was trying to make the change to go from low self-esteem to a high self-esteem, when I was trying to make the change to go from no confidence to self-confidence, when I was trying to make the change of a negative self-perception to having a high self-perception, it was constant work. Because my subconscious, I had been doing it so long, I had been running down on me so long and treating myself bad for so long and saying, awful things to myself so long, saying self-defeating things to myself so long that it was embedded in my subconscious mind, man, and almost by default. That's how I went through life. And that's why I went through, underachieving, man. That's why I went through underachieving. And it's constant work. It's constant work. Life isn't always, it isn't this utopian experience, man. All day, every day. Some days are up, some days are down. Some days I feel like it, some days I don't. But what it comes down to is just a matter of, do I do it or not? When I push myself through to get my shit done. But when you're trying to change who you are, you're trying to change how you think, especially when you're talking about yourself, when you're the focal point, it's constant work. Because you gotta fight them thoughts, man. You gotta fight them thoughts that have been alive for so long, that have been holding you back for so long that they've almost become second nature. And you gotta want better for you. You really got to be sick and tired of feeling like how you feel. And this is all in your control, man. This is all in your control, man. Number one, I gotta dig what I listen to. I gotta dig who I hang around. I gotta dig what I watch on TV. I gotta constantly dig myself, man, and watch what I'm doing to see how it impacts me, man. I gotta see how it moves me. And if it doesn't move me in a way that I want to go, man, I got to let it go. I got to cut it loose. I got to cut it loose. You know, I got enough people in the world, enough, you know, the world in and of itself is dog eat dog. Only the strong survive, survival of the fittest. So I got enough of competition and enough people going against me that I don't need to help them and me go against me too. You know, I got to be that one support system for me. I got to be that for me. Hit that like button when you come in. Thank you. I got to be that cheerleader for me. I got to be that coach. I got to be my fan club. I got to be my number one fan. I got to be my cheerleading squad. I got to be my theme music. I got to be everything to me. That's super important. We spend so much time alone with ourselves and with our minds and with our thoughts. You know, and I've learned to not today I've learned not to look elsewhere for my validation. I've learned that a lot of people wear masks. A lot of this, what we see going on, you know, people are just showing their good side. They're not showing the whole picture. All in an attempt to become popular, to become liked, to get follows, to get like buttons. So I've learned to pierce that veil. Right? And understand that if this is the kind of person I'm dealing with, why would I need their approval of me? The only approval I need is mine. One important person's love that I need the most is my own. Your self-confidence is going to dictate your life. It's going to dictate your job. It's going to dictate whether you advance on that job, whether you get fired from that job. It dictates everything. It's going to dictate your relationships, who you get into relationships with. It plays a part in your marriage, even after you're married. All of this stuff is important, man. You know, I don't look to the TV. You know, and nobody can tell me who I am. I know for a fact who I am. Nobody can control my narrative. Nobody can control Sean G's narrative. I know who the fuck I am. Right? I know what's made me. I know me inside and out, upside down. And that's a good thing. Because when you've taken the time to learn yourself and know yourself, you become in full control of yourself and of your life. You become a man amongst men. You become a man amongst men. Please hit that like button for me. Thank you in advance, man. You become a man amongst men. You know. Your confidence can take you places, man. Confidence in yourself can take you places. It can open doors for you. It can create opportunity for you. Self-love, all this stuff can do this for you. Whatever your dreams are, whatever your vision is, all these things I got up here on the screen, man, can facilitate in bringing these things about and bringing your vision about. You got to work on them. You got to possess them. You got to have them. This is the shit that's got to be at the top of your list when you wake up in the morning, man. This is the shit that's most important. This is the shit that you got to defend to the end. You got to stand up for it. You got to fight for it. Mental jousts for it. You got to go through mental wars. These are the things that can make you. And without them, they can break you. You got to work on this, man. You got to work on this. Where your self-esteem at? Your shit in the basement is low? Why is it low? Why? Why is it low? Figure that out. Once you figure that out, then you got to go to work with the remedy. You got to find the remedy for that. What's causing this? And you got to be honest with yourself, man. You got to be real with yourself. You know, I know that's not the popular thing to do. Hit that like button, y'all. I know that's not the popular thing to do nowadays. I know the popular thing is you know, to just high sign and have all of these artificial things and all of this, all the bells and whistles and the wrapping paper and the bow and, you know, the frosting with the cake and all of that, you know, to make yourself look like what you think the world could be, because the world has become so weak. Excuse me, the world has become so weak that all you really got to do is just look good. You don't even have to be that. And people will admire you and you something totally other than who you are. That's where we are right now. So that's really the popular thing, man. But I ain't with that shit, man. Y'all hear that siren? You know, you gotta be who you are. You gotta be who you are. You gotta look at your life and you gotta accept your life. That's the hand you was dealt. This is the hand we was dealt. You gotta play this motherfucker, man. You got to play it. And I don't look at nobody else's hand no more. I don't want to play nobody else's hand. I want to play my hand. My hand don't look too bad. It's just the way I was looking at my hand. You know, there was some people that used to say, man, that if everybody got in the room and threw their problems in the middle of the floor and you got a chance to see everyone else's problems, man, you be fighting to get your problems back. Because you got people out here, man, that are working with some real serious stuff, man. Some real issues. Health related, mental health, physical health, all of that. But you got to believe in you, man. You got to believe in you. That's super important. You know? You got to believe in you. Yeah, man, I don't, you know what I'm saying? And And when I was doing drugs, when I was getting high, everything that I have up here on this screen was in the basement or either non-existent, man. You know, there was no self-esteem. You know, the self-love for me, it was out the door. You know, that's what it did to me. You know, maybe it may have a different effect on you. It doesn't affect everybody the same way. All I could do is just tell you my story. But you best believe that today, man, nigga Sean G, my confidence is high. You know, my self-esteem is high. I respect myself, man. And in doing that, I get respect. I demand it. You know, my self-love is money. You know, I don't do shit no more to destroy me or destroy my life. I just don't do that anymore. You know, I choose to, you know, for once in my life, I put me first. And I practice consequential thinking with Sean. If we do this here, man, you know, what is a potential outcome? Is it a good potential outcome or is it a bad potential outcome? Okay, Sean, if you do this shit, this ain't gonna look good for you next week or 2 months from now. So maybe we shouldn't do this. You know, I've developed my consequential thinking. And in developing my consequential thinking, I make better decisions. I don't make as my judgment isn't as poor as it used to be. You know, and I'm getting myself involved in situations I got no business being in. You know, if you struggling with any of this stuff, man, let me tell you this here. You can fix it. You can change. You can change your life. Yes, you can. You just got to do the work. It's possible. It's possible, man. You just got to do the work. That's all you got to do. Yes, indeed.
I said astigmatism in my soul.
Y'all know who that is. Y'all know who that is. You know, and I'm so glad I'm able to be in his life, man, and to give him this stuff at his age. Because if I could have got all of this at the age of 10, you know, my life would have turned out way different. I'm certain of it. I don't regret my life. I love my life. Everything that happened to me got me to who I am today, and I'm a bad motherfucker. I'm hard to beat. You got to bring your A game to beat me. But just knowing what I know about life, you know what I'm saying? Had these things been drilled into me, had I even been introduced to these words and was told to look them up, man, I could have done a whole lot better. You know, so make your life what you want it to be. You are the director of your life. You are the architect of your life. You get to draw up the plans and the blueprint. Yes, you do. You don't have to do anything anybody don't want you. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. And you can do anything that you decide to do. Not saying it's going to be easy, but you can do it. But you got to get out here, man. You got to make your life happen. What do you want? If you want that, then go for it. If you want that over there, then go for it. Whatever it is, focus upon it, man. I think Reuben Hurricane Carter said, anything in this world can be done if you got commitment, the people to do it, and are able to focus upon it. Reuben Hurricane Carter was born in Clifton, New Jersey, raised in Paterson. He lived in Passaic, New Jersey for a little while, raised in Paterson, New Jersey, and went on to become a great boxer. Denzel Washington played him in the movie The Hurricane, Reuben Hurricane Carter. And he was wrongly jailed in the state of New Jersey for like 30 years. And he never gave up. You know, they framed him, the detectives, the legal system, and he continued to fight for his freedom. And he found some people that was willing to help him. And they went to work. And I read his book. It's called The 16th Round. It's called The 16th Round. And in this book, he appeals his conviction, he gets denied. He appeals his conviction, he gets denied. You can watch the movie. $60K is a great startup, man. $60,000, if you're talking about $60,000, that's a great startup. But he never quit, he never gives up. And I wrote it down. He quoted this in the book. He says, man, anything in this world can be done. Eventually, he had his case, he appealed his case, and he reheard it. You know, I think the appeals court, or the state Supreme Court of New Jersey heard it, and they overturned his conviction. You know, and he could have quit. He could have quit. He could have just laid down and said, yo, they fucked me over. They jerked me. You know, I've been in here 5 years. Let me quickly give. I've been in here 10 years. I'm going to give up. I've been in here 17 years. I ain't going to never get out. I've been in here 21 years. I ain't going to never been out. I can't even imagine what that must feel like, man. But eventually, his conviction was overturned. He was freed. And he wrote in his book, I wrote it down and I committed it to memory. He says, anything in this world can be done if you've got commitment, the people to do it, and are able to focus upon it. You got to be able to focus upon it. You know, example after example after example is out here, man. You know, another guy that I know, brother that's been good to me. We talk on the phone once every couple months. Whenever he comes to the East Coast, we get together. Six Sounds, thank you for that super chat, man. Six Sounds, hold that thought. What books do you recommend? I see you. Whenever he comes to the East Coast, we get together. If I go out to California, we get together. And I'm talking about Freeway Ricky Ross. I'm talking about the real Rick Ross, not the fake rapper. The rapper's name is William Roberts. He stole Freeway Rick Ross's name. The real Freeway Ricky Ross, the real Rick Ross is from South Central Los Angeles. And here was a man, Freeway Ricky Ross, was Six Sounds, get The Richest Man in Babylon, Six Sounds. The Richest Man in Babylon by George Clason. The Richest Man in Babylon by George Clason. Here was a man, Freeway Ricky Ross, who got sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, federal prison, who has a conviction rate of over 98%, 98, 99%. They don't lose many cases. And went to prison with life without the possibility of parole. No out date. You're going to die in prison. And he couldn't read when he got there. And he went in there and he taught himself how to read. And in teaching himself how to read, he began to review his case. And in reviewing his case, he found that he was wrongly convicted of 3 separate drug offenses, which would garner you life without the possibility of parole. He found this loophole himself in his case, and he called his lawyer. Lawyer didn't believe him. Lawyer didn't believe that the language, the law that he had found applied to him. He says, I don't care what you believe. Appeal my case and argue my case this way on this fact. I don't care what you think. I don't care that you're a lawyer and you went to law school. I know I never went to law school. I know I just taught myself how to read. I know I'm in prison with life without the possibility of parole. But here is the law, and I want you to argue it this way. He filed his appeal. The lawyer argued it the way that he told him to, and his conviction got overturned, and he's a free man. That comes from believing in yourself and having self-confidence. That comes from loving yourself enough to whether he may not never have found the legal language to get him out, but the fact that he loved himself enough, he did it anyway, and he found it. You know, these are the lengths that we got to go through in our own lives when we want something. You got to go to great lengths. You got to be willing to do things that you ain't normally done. You got to be willing to change who you are. You got to be willing to become somebody new. You got to be willing to let go of who you was.
I said astigmatism in my soul.
You got to be willing to change who you are from the inside out.
I said astigmatism in my soul.
You got to be willing to cut people off that don't mean you no good, that they've become dead weight. I know you've known them a long time, but they're not providing any type of moral support, mental support, spiritual support, no nothing. I know you know them a long time. You got to be willing to cut them loose. Shout out to my man, whoever that is, CMH2THJ. Thank you for that super chat. Thank you. Love you for that. 6 Sounds, did you get that book? Did you get that book? Six Sounds, you see me? It's for you, homeboy. Get this joint. This joint will blow your wig back. Get that joint right there. That joint will blow your wig back.
I said astigmatism in my soul.
That's a financial book. But you got to get up out of that rut you in. You got to get up out of that life that you in. That ain't going nowhere. That you not the way you're thinking. The way you thinking about yourself, the way you believe in yourself or your lack of belief in yourself. The way that you perceive in yourself got you where you at. And if you somewhere where you not happy with who you are, you got you there. Yeah, when we were young and we were kids, that wasn't our fault, that was out of our control. But once we become adults and we become aware that we have the ability to change things, then it's incumbent upon us to change it. It's incumbent upon us to change it. That's what matters, man. You got to come up out of that shit, man. Where you at? Let it go. Change, nah, it ain't easy. Change ain't easy. Change is uncomfortable. Change is difficult. You got to begin to speak where you want to be to yourself. Start writing your stuff down and taping it to the mirror in the bathroom. Start writing down your goals and put the magnet on the refrigerator. Start writing your goals down and put it up in the cabinet where all your canned goods are, your beans, your tuna, all your food is, so that you see it every day. You got to start saying this stuff to yourself, man. You got to get yourself up out of this, man. And your self-perception can do it. You got to change the way that you see yourself. You got to forget the way they taught you to perceive you. They may have teased you growing up. They may have bullied you growing up. They may have disrespected you growing up. But that's over, man. That's back in the day. That's back there. Today is a new day.
I said astigmatism in my soul.
And you got to get up off your ass and change your life. Look at your routine. Look at your routine. Look at it, man. Look at your routine.
I said astigmatism in my soul.
And then look at where you at. And if you don't like where you at in life, it's because of your routine.
I said astigmatism in my soul.
So if you don't like where you at and your routine is directly tied to where you at, you got to change your motherfucking routine.
I said astigmatism in my soul.
You got to start doing things different. And it starts with you. And it ends with you. It starts with you and it ends with you. You going to sleep late, you waking up late. You got to change that.
I said astigmatism in my soul.
You're drinking all day, you're getting high all day, you're sleeping all night, you're sleeping all day because you're too hungover, you got too high, you're not getting nothing done the next day. You're waking up 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. You know, you brush your teeth, put your clothes on, you leave out of the house 12:30, 1 o'clock. The day is gone, man. A lot of shit done got done already. You late.
I said astigmatism in my soul.
Early bird catch the worm. Early bird catch the worm. Early bird catch the worm. I'm not hanging out all night. 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 I got shit to do tomorrow.
I said astigmatism in my soul.
I'm not fucking hanging out all night, man. Getting drunk, getting high, smoking hookah and shisha and smoking weed and getting... I'm not doing that all night, man.
I said astigmatism in my soul.
And I got books to write the next day. I got videos to shoot. I got videos to upload. I got a son to take care of. I got a house to clean. I got food to cook. I got shit to do. Shirts to send off. Books to mail out. I'm not finna get high. I'm not finna be getting up 9:30, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, man. Fuck out of here, man.
I said
Nigga got that
astigmatism
motherfucking fed look.
in my soul.
I got to get up and take care of my business, man. And I talked about this yesterday. If you've hit a glass ceiling in your life, if you've hit a ceiling, you've achieved. You done did good. You done achieved, but you keep hitting this. You can't get no higher than this. You was way down here. Now you here. You cool. You came up. Congratulations to you. But you don't want to be here. You want to be up here. You want to break through. You keep hitting this ceiling because you doing the same shit that got you from here to here. And in order for you to break through and go higher, you got to make a change. You got to make a change. You got to get down for your crown a little harder. You got to go a little harder. Yeah. Yeah. That's what this is about. Man, look at your life. Look at your life and fix it. And fix it. And if it don't need fixing, then, just tune it up. Change the oil. Put some air in the tire. Send it through the car wash. Clean it up. Vacuum it out. And keep on riding. But some of our lives, we need to take that car to the junkyard. We need to take our life to the junkyard, put it in the junkyard, and go get a new life with new people in it so that we can create new circumstances, so that we can create new joy and new happiness and new peace of mind and new self-confidence, self-love, self-appreciation, self-perception, self-esteem, all that. It all deals with the self. You got to love yourself. And it ain't easy, man. It's hard. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not hard. I'm looking at my life. There's some things that I want to do. And I'm making some changes. I had to come to the conclusion, Sean, you got to get back on your joint. You got to get back on your discipline game. You got to get back on that discipline that you was on when you first got out of prison. You got to get back on that because discipline will get your goals accomplished. Discipline is a powerful thing. Discipline is a powerful thing. It makes all the difference in the world between achievers and non-achievers. The ones that don't have no discipline, they can't fuck with the ones that got discipline. Discipline is doing what you don't feel like doing, but doing it anyway because you know you got to do it because it's going to get you to where you're going. Yeah. Discipline is doing other than what may bring you joy and happiness and a good feeling. Doing other than that, doing something boring, but having to do it because this is what it takes to get you to that road. This is what it's going to take to get you to that life to where once you get there, you'll be able to enjoy and have those days where they're happy and full of joy and full of fun because you put the discipline down so strong. You got to be able to do that. That makes all the difference in the world, man. I appreciate all y'all coming through. I typically don't go this late. I typically don't go live this late. I normally go live during the middle of the day. But I was sitting here and these topics were on my heart. So I figured, I said, well, let me come on and do a little something, man. Shout out to everybody that gave me the super chats, man. I appreciate y'all. CMH2 the J. All right, I don't know what that means. 6 sounds. What's up, man? Subscribe to the Patreon channel, man. That link is at the top. But yeah, man, discipline is everything, man. If you could tighten your discipline game up, man, it's just a matter of time before you achieve whatever you want to achieve. You know, and I'm glad I just said that. I needed to hear myself say that. Let me say it again. If you tighten your discipline game up, it's only a matter of time. It's not a matter of if, it's just when, and a matter of time before you get to where you want to be. If you tighten your discipline game up, it's just a matter of time before you get to where you want to be. Sean G, I'm out. Peace.
Yeah. Sean, what's up?
Stigmatism, man, what's up?